It all started here, outside. Not literally in this place, but that's just a different location. But it started here per se, where I think about 5 years ago, I was outside on a walk along train tracks. And you can check out that first episode. It's called Train Tracks, I Say No More, where I just sat down and started recording. What was on my mind, was on my heart, what I was contemplating or just processing at the time. And that led into a podcast that I've been doing for a certain amount of time, years. Sometimes I take my breaks in between, simply different reasons. Sometimes life is busy, as you know. Sometimes maybe we lack inspiration. I don't really think that's a thing. It's more like the busyness, or you get carried away, or different priorities, whatever it is. So you need to take the freedom to take breaks. Like during the day when you work or you have a certain job, maybe it's healthy to take certain breaks, just to recuperate, to do something else, think about something else, or not think at all, before you just can go back and do or finish what you're supposed to finish and do. Call it a day. And so I think it's the same with a podcast or anything in life where you need breaks. I used to do these things called intermission, where it's all about the in-between stuff. I still think it's a phenomenal thing. However, you can hear noises here in the background. Right now it's a plane that occurs, or a car, or all different kinds of things that you can spot if you actually step outside. Right now I'm in a chair. I just sit around the fire pit, one of my favorite places. Sometimes I make a fire. Sometimes I just sit here and drink my coffee. And over the period of time, one of my episodes that I recorded was called I'm a Hobbit. And I will talk about this more or further because there's more to it. But I also made it a habit as a hobbit. That sounds cool. The hobbit has a habit where I actually take off my shoes and my socks and I plant my feet on the ground, on the earth per se. And there's lots to say about that, but it gives you, I mean, for me, and even, you know, during the summer, that's one thing, but then now into the fall, it's another thing. And during the winter, I don't know yet, but I made, let's say, a decision that I want to keep exploring. I want to keep exploring this phenomena where you actually are connected to the earth. And right now I'm sitting here barefoot, beautiful fall day. The same spot that I'm here where the sun is actually on my face. Just days ago, the moon was in the same spot on my face per se. You know, it was a full moon, perfect day, perfect fall day, where you just would love to just spend the whole day, or night, that is, in that case, outside, in my case. And so going back to the fire pit, I realized a lot of people might have, maybe even you who are listening, you have a fire pit. And hopefully on occasion you light a fire, you spend time around the fire, whether it's by yourself or with friends or family. Maybe you throw some stuff on. In my case, I have a grill. I can also cook on my fire pit, and I just have this time of being connected to the elements, being connected with people, being connected with food, and it all seems to all connect because it's a cycle. You know, the food comes from the earth. You're planted with your feet on the ground of the earth. You have sustenance from the food that you take into your body, and then the whole cycle, I mean, there's probably more steps to it, starts again, where it comes from a place and it goes to a place. That's what I'm trying to say. There's more to it, obviously. I haven't thought that through. It just comes to me as we go along, but it's all these things I feel are connected, and it's beautiful because at times we might have a fire pit, we might even enjoy that or have it. Let's rephrase that. You have it, but how many times or how often do you actually enjoy it? Next to just making a fire, just being around the fire pit, like in this case, And it's almost like I felt like having an altar. You just and not in a bad way, not to worship other, and not the elements or the fire or creation per se, but actually it's a point of connection where you realize that there is a creator, where you realize around this altar or fire pit that there is a deeper connection. And when I sit here, in my case right now, seeing the sun that he created, planting my feet on the ground that he created, or the earth, it gives me a sense of belonging. It gives me a sense of being in awe of creation, of not only creation itself, but the creator who created all of this. And I was just literally sitting here, drinking my coffee and just, staring at the sun, or just bathing myself in the sun, and just worshiping and realizing a God, the creator of heaven and earth and everything that is around me. And, and I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to have these moments where, yes, there's a fire pit or a point of connection, an altar. And Psalm 5 came to mind where it actually says that every day I place my life or pieces of my life on the altar and wait for fire to descend, which basically means like everything that I am, everything that I own, everything that I my past, present, and future belongs to you. And I place it all, everything, onto the altar and ask you to fill this place with your presence. Not that this presence is not here, but fill it like that I would intentionally feel his presence and take time out of my busy schedule of my life and just stop and just wait on him. And that's a whole nother thing, just waiting on God, because we're just running, busy. And then, I thought about this too, like, you have a fire pit, you have a place of contact or connection, but how often do you enjoy it? How often, apart from the fire and food and fellowship or whatever it happens around the fire or the fire pit, how often do you actually enjoy it and sit down and worship the creator, worship the God who put this all in place, who created the sun, who created the earth, who created the moon, who created the fire, who created trees so that we have firewood that we can make a fire, and so forth, where I come back to where everything is connected, beautifully connected, much more than I realize. And then while you sit here next to having these man-made noises or sounds where it's like, I hear a train right now before it was a plane, but I hear the birds. I hear, actually, when it's quieter, I notice still some raindrops coming down. I hear that and I see that, the impact on the ground, and I see the leaves still falling down. There's so many things, different little gnats or insects or squirrels, or just, it's full, basically what I'm saying, it's full of life. And it made me think that I was able this week to build something which was beautiful with wood. And so if you swing this way, just for those who can see this when you watch the video, for those who just listen, so this is, I'm showing, this is a pallet, a wood pallet, and let me just go check out this. So this is a wood pallet. It's a contraption that I built where I can store my firewood. And so it doesn't get wet, because, I had it somewhere, and it's okay. But I wanted to do this, and it's a beautiful little project. And the pallets, usually, if you're, usually they're free. And so all you need is screws. And I put a top on it, like a tin roof, just to make it more durable. And you're good to go. You just need to spend time and effort, your work and labor. But other than that, it's free. And so it's a beautiful thing that I realized, of just being able to work with wood, work with something that is created again out of the ground, and be able to create something, build something, creativity. And it's so fulfilling. It's just so soothing. And being able now, after spending that amount of time and being creative, thinking about this as you start building it, and seeing the final project. Where actually, sometimes it depends what kind of work we do. We don't see a result of the work that we've done because it depends on what line of work you're in. But when you build something, and my dad was a builder, a contractor, he built stuff with his hands. And in order or being able to do that, you actually see a construction or something. There was nothing, and then you have a plan in your mind, or maybe you put it on a piece of paper. Of course, if it's a more complex construction, then you need more planning and effort and money and time and whatever, or labor or different people working on it. But it's just amazing, that you can actually build something. And then you see the fruits of your labor and can enjoy it. And not only can I enjoy it, but whoever comes to this fire pit, like recently I had 2 nights where friends were over, or just one friend, and you can spend this time around the fire pit, maybe make some food, have some fellowship, have some conversation, and enjoy all these things together because they're all interwoven, they're all connected. And then on a slow day or a day where maybe nobody is here, you still have that same place that you can come to. And for lack of better words, where I can just come and worship. Just worship the God who created everything, who gave rocks that I can build a fire pit, who provided wood from trees that grew over a period of time, that through different processes now I have wood that I can use and build something that's durable, that's lasting, and can be enjoyed. And placing my feet on the ground, because it reminds me also that the ground that I'm created from humbles me, because we mankind, we think at times very highly of ourselves. But being placed on the earth, on the ground like this, sitting down, humbling ourselves, and just being in awe, whether it's the sun that I see that warms me, or just lightens my face, or the moon at night, or the trees, or the birds, or anything surrounding me, it gives us a sense of connection, gives a sense of belonging, and summing this up all back to a point of contact, an altar to worship. And you see those altars, and that's for another episode. There's so much in there, throughout, biblical characters throughout time, where even reading about Abraham just the other day, that he, in this place of remembrance, built an altar and he worshipped. And so, long story short, this is my altar. This is one of the places I worship, where I can sit down, drink my coffee, pray, contemplate, be grateful, thankful for what God has blessed me with, whether it's big or small, and just understand that I belong. Understand that everything is connected because this Creator God has set everything in motion perfectly. And if we take a moment out of our busy schedule and lives, we might even enjoy it for a moment. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.